Everyone up here? I'll just give everyone time to come up. Is everyone ready? Ka pai. Okay. Morena kia koutou katoa. Thank you all very much for coming this morning. Just over a month ago, I was sitting in a doctor's office at one of those appointments you always hope you'll never need. A routine mammogram showed some potential concerns. A biopsy then confirmed I have breast cancer. I have held off telling people about my diagnosis while I continue to focus on parliamentary work, including the annual State of the Planet speeches, the Select Committee process for the Fast Track Bill, meeting with stakeholders on my Right to Repair Members Bill, and responding to the budget. Fortunately, the cancer has been caught early and treatment will begin very soon. I will be having a partial mastectomy in the first week of July. Following this, I will be taking leave to recover from surgery and begin further treatment. I do want to be clear that we are fortunate to have picked this up early enough to give us the best odds of getting rid of it, thanks to the breast screening program. I reiterate today how important it is that our cancer screening programs are supported and equitable and can make sure more people are screened in time to save more lives. Wahine mā, please book in your mammograms. I want to thank the team of surgeons, nurses and healthcare workers who have been able to reassure me through this process and who will be with me every step of the way for the next several months. Our public health system is a taonga, and our kaimahi even more so. As I've come to terms with this diagnosis, at the forefront of my mind has been how much our mahi for planet and people means to me, and how difficult it feels to take some time away from it. But I have absolutely no doubt that Chloe Swarbrick and our team of hard-working, dedicated MPs will hold the kaupapa while I am on leave. I intend to work through to Matariki and then spend a few days with my whānau preparing for surgery. I will be on leave and unavailable for media from Saturday the 29th June, after attending Matariki ceremonies in my official capacity on Friday 28 June. I ask that while I am on leave, my privacy is respected. At this stage, I expect treatment and recovery may require around 4 months, but I am not yet able to confirm exactly when I will return to Parliament. I will be asking Green Party delegates at the upcoming annual general meeting to vote for me for co-leader in the full knowledge that I will be taking some months off and the full trust that I will be returning with fierce determination to fight for people and planet. As I stand here with this wonderful caucus behind me, I feel enormously grateful for the outpouring of aroha that has carried me and lifted me up at this time. My husband is continually my absolute rock of emotional support, and my tamariki and mokopuna generously share their mama and their nana with the whole green whānau every day. E hara taku toa I te toa takitahi, engari he toa takitini. My strength is not mine alone, it is that of many. This is not a time for political point scoring, but as the Green Party, we always understand that the personal is political. I am naturally someone who wants to look after others, I don't find it easy to listen to the many wise voices who have been telling me it's time to look after myself for a while. Instead, I can't help but feel how deeply unfair it is that not everyone in Aotearoa has access to the same support I do, and how much better off we all could be if we put our values of care into action, not only at a personal level, but as a country. This is why I feel absolutely, unequivocally sure in my decision to stay on as co-leader once treatment is complete. There are too many things I still want to help with. There is so much mahi yet to do. I know Chloe and I will be a phenomenal team of wahine toa co-leaders, and we're only just getting started. Ka whawhai tonu mātou. Thank you again for coming, and I will now take questions.
Marama, firstly, how are you feeling right now? And did you consider at any point stepping down as co-leader?
Thanks, Jenna. I think despite everything, I'm feeling good. Mostly, I'm feeling grateful for the incredible care and support. And Jenna, if anything, this diagnosis has given me even more passion and energy to do the mahi that needs to be done. It has really focused me. Other questions?
Are you hoping that, in terms of being away from Parliament for several months, are you hoping that some of your colleagues step up and help close the running of the party in Parliament?
The Green Party has always had a collective approach to doing this mahi. That is the whole purpose of a co-leader model in the first place. I'm not hoping, I know that this team will step up, will hold the space for me to be able to return, will help to carry the rest of the load. Thanks, Benedict.
You mentioned this earlier, but I suppose, what message can you send out to people about the importance of early detection and, how this has allowed you to carry on and still, work through, the state of the planet and things like that?
There's actually a breakfast, a cancer breakfast, just in the room behind the cameras in front of me here, I think maybe a couple of years ago, that I happened to attend, obviously in full support. And it was actually there at the breakfast table that other survivors really impressed upon me that I was late to have my mammogram. And I want to thank them because I got into the breast screening program because of their insistence. My insistence is exactly the same this morning. And it's also why, the Greens have always talked about how what we can be is a country that allows everyone to put their health and recovery and treatment first and their whānau. I am feeling just really supported, but sad that not everyone has this level of support when facing a cancer diagnosis.
You spoke about making the screening process more equitable. What would that look like?
Oh, of course I want to acknowledge the real advocates and experts in this field. I am simply a person who has been diagnosed at this stage. But what the Greens have always known is all of our health programs and our screening programs are not effective in every community the way that they need to be. That other inequities of how people are living, if they're housed in the first place, how the rest of their health services have been, all play an impact as to whether we are screening everyone the way that we should be. That's something I've been aware of long before this diagnosis. I'll come over here.
Just in terms of the co-leader responsibilities, has there been a plan set out in terms of who might handle the day-to-day work that you currently carry out?
That's a fair question. Today the information is about announcing this. All of those details have been and will continue to be worked through. It's not the first time that the Green Party has had one co-leader before. In fact, we have had that experience several times, including for myself. And so we know how to do this. It's also, again, why our structure has empowered all of our MPs to step up. We don't really have such thing as Green Party backbenchers. That doesn't happen. And I know that that collective approach to our mahi will continue.
And can I ask, what fed into the decision to, I suppose, keep working through the state of the planet and the fast track? You know, that would have been quite a serious decision that you would have had to take personally and for your family as well. What was your thinking behind that, if you can share that?
Sure. I think that's a fair question. Probably 8 years of knowing how to do this work and simply carrying on. I did mention to Jenna before, if anything, the diagnosis really helped me to focus even more. While I can work, I will continue to.
One of the biggest sort of fallout stories of the budget was the government's decision not to fund the cancer grants. I just wonder how that was for you in a personal sense, that dealing with that news.
It was that news, but it was more broadly the way that the government's budget announcements and policies continue to make life difficult for those struggling the most. The Greens very proudly have put up solutions, including over the past 2 general elections, of how every single person, including those in work, could be afforded the financial support and care to just focus on treatment and recovery. These are the sorts, that's what I thought about, Jenna. When those announcements were made, it's not just about not being able to fund some medication, it's actually about an entire health system that truly does take care of everyone.
And one of the announcements that they did make in the budget was to extend the age of eligibility for breast screening. I wonder if you could share any reflections on how urgent that was.
Sure, I do have some reflections just personally, not just as a politician, is that what I do know is that some groups are more likely to be diagnosed with cancer, including Māori and Pacific women, and Māori and Pacific women are more likely to die from a cancer diagnosis. That's part of the equity that I have been referring to, about making sure that our treatments, our services, our screening is getting to communities the way it needs to. Those are some of the reflections that I've been having as I experience the system. I just want to make it really clear that the surgeons, the nurses, the clinicians, all of the health workers have been absolutely, and this is in our public system, have been absolutely stunning and doing their mahi in a sea of insecurity, and I really want to honour them.
Chloe, how are you doing? Because obviously you've just taken up the mantle of not only dealing with this, with Marama being your friend, but now you step into this space. How are you doing today?
This isn't about me. You know, as Marama has just alluded to, the very reason that we have the co-leadership model and the very reason that we've many times in the past made jokes about the fact that the Green Party is not so much a hierarchy as it is an ecosystem is because we very much are. The way that we do things is that we realise that no one person changes the world alone. So, you know, we've also been really forthright about the fact that the last few months have been an incredibly rough time, and to that effect I think that you can see that our caucus has stuck together and we have an incredibly hard-working, powerful group of people behind us. So we are looking forward to continuing that work and holding the space for Marama when she returns.
Chloe, I'm just wondering if you can tell us a bit about when Marama told you and what you can share about that conversation. I mean, you haven't been co-leaders together for a very long time. You have been friends and colleagues for a while.
Yeah. Marama Davidson is one of the strongest people that I have ever met. And the things that people see in public are just the tip of the iceberg. I cannot begin to express just how proud I am to stand alongside her. And to that effect also to do the work and to do the job of holding the space for her to return. I was told a few weeks ago and we have been working together since that point in time to make sure that, as Marama herself has alluded to, that we have the plan in place to make sure that everything from this point in time is about our team continuing to get through and keep the focus on the mahi that we come here to do, which is to uphold people and the planet.
When was the rest of the caucus?
We had a meeting this morning.
And I mean, like you just touched on, but it's been quite a tumultuous year for the Greens. I mean, you know, this latest thing, like at what point do you just like, oh man.
The work's too big, man.
Yeah, the work, it's been a rough time, right? We've been quite upfront about that, and all through that, our work has continued. All through that, we've been supporting and loving each other to keep focused on the work and to get through those rough times. No one controls where cancer lands and how, so this is just something we have to work through. And with their incredible strength, I am coming to terms with making sure I take time off to be treated and heal.
We're reminding her that's her work.
When Kelly Allen was diagnosed with cervical cancer, she heard some pretty confronting statistics.
Yeah.
Touched on this
Yeah.
before about survival rates of
Yeah.
particularly Māori women in that situation. Were you given those same statistics when you were diagnosed?
Yes.
And how did that feel?
Yes, although I had some awareness of health inequities, especially for Māori and Pacific communities, I get given a wonderful booklet and information that made those realities even more stark to me. It's just completely coincidental, right, that I happen to have a public platform, and I absolutely know I've got a responsibility to be clear about the work that our system needs support with, to be clear about the inequities that need to be addressed head on. Got a lot of friends who I wish were still here from breast cancer. Probably most of us have. And I'm thinking of them, I'm thinking of their families, and feeling grateful beyond words that we are going to treat this, that I have the care and support to be able to focus on treatment and recovery. It looks like there is enough questions from everyone. Thank you once again for coming. Have a good day. Kia ora.